a Southern girl. I often just smile and keep going, but I have my own thoughts and my own views, and it's time now to express them.
At the age of 61, Mara Maples, the former wife of Donald Trump, finally broke her 20-year silence to reveal the truth behind her divorce. For decades, the world had been intrigued by the mystery surrounding her relationship with Melania Trump, Donald Trump's current wife. The media speculated about secret feuds, behind-the-scenes drama, and the possibility of a rivalry between the two women. Now, after years of speculation, Mara Maples is addressing the rumors head-on, providing clarity on the truth. In her candid interview, Mara shared that the decision to divorce Donald Trump was not made lightly, but was necessary for her personal growth and well-being. She revealed that while their marriage faced many challenges, the decision to part ways was based on her desire to live a life aligned with her values, which included focusing on spiritual growth and being the best version of herself. Mara explained that, despite being in the public eye for so long, she had never sought fame or attention, but rather preferred to live a private and peaceful life. The most striking revelation came when Mara spoke about her relationship with Melania. While rumors had painted them as rivals, Mara clarified that there was never any personal animosity between them. Instead, their connection was based on mutual respect and understanding. Both women, despite their different paths in life, shared the experience of raising children in the public eye, and this bond was stronger than any rivalry the media had created. Mara emphasized that contrary to popular belief, there was no competition or jealousy between her and Melania. They simply coexisted with grace, always maintaining a respectful distance. Mara's decision to speak out provides a refreshing perspective on the situation, challenging the media's portrayal of tension and rivalry. Her story serves as a reminder that respect, empathy, and understanding often speak louder than any manufactured drama. Welcome back to our channel. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from us. For decades, the media and public have been consumed by speculation about the relationship between Mara Maples and Melania Trump. The narrative often painted them as rivals, especially given their connection to Donald Trump. While the media thrived on the idea of an ongoing feud between the two women, Mara has consistently rejected this notion, providing a much-needed clarification in her recent interview. She explained that the rumors of jealousy and competition were completely unfounded. In fact, Mara emphasized that she and Melania had never been rivals in any meaningful sense. Mara went on to clarify that their relationship, although not close in the traditional sense, was built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. She acknowledged that, while they had different life experiences, they both understood the unique pressures of being part of the Trump family. Their roles as mothers in the public eye connected them in a way that transcended the fabricated rivalry the media often portrayed. They were both raising children under intense public scrutiny, and this shared experience created an unspoken bond between them. Mara pointed out that there was never any need for rivalry because they led very different lives. She was focused on raising her daughter, Tiffany Trump, in a more private, grounded environment, far removed from the public spotlight that often overshadowed the Trump name. Melania, on the other hand, was more involved in the world of politics and public appearances. Despite their differences, both women navigated their unique circumstances with grace and dignity, and neither sought to interfere with the other's life. Ultimately, Mara's perspective highlights the power of mutual respect, proving that two women can exist in the same orbit without being in conflict. Mara Maples also highlighted how their connection was not built on frequent interactions or shared social circles, but on a quiet, mutual respect. She emphasized that despite the media's portrayal of tension between her and Melania, their relationship was always based on understanding rather than rivalry. Both women lived vastly different lives. Mara focused on raising her daughter in a private, peaceful environment, while Melania embraced her role in the public eye as the First Lady. Yet there was an unspoken understanding between them, forged through their shared experiences of motherhood and public scrutiny. Mara made it clear that there was never a need for comparison or competition, as they were two very different women with different values and paths in life. This mutual respect allowed them to exist in parallel worlds, both raising their children in the best way they could. Their distant yet respectful connection underscores the idea that two women, despite their differences, can peacefully coexist without conflict. One of the most significant aspects of Mara Maples' relationship with Melania Trump is their shared experience of motherhood, which, despite their differences, created a bond between them. Both women raised their children under the intense pressure of the public eye, navigating the scrutiny that comes with being part of the Trump family. Marla, in her interview, reflected on how this mutual understanding of the challenges they faced as mothers allowed them to connect in a way that was not based on rivalry, but on empathy and respect. Mara's own approach to raising her daughter, Tiffany Trump, was deeply rooted in protecting her from the chaos of the media and public attention. Unlike her half-siblings, Ivanka, Donald Jr., Ewas, and Eric, who grew up with their father in the public spotlight, Tiffany's childhood was kept relatively private, allowing her to experience freedom and self-discovery. Mara made a conscious choice to shield her from the media circus surrounding the Trump family, valuing her daughter's well-being over the fame and attention associated with the Trump name. For Melania, the pressure of motherhood was also immense, particularly as she raised Barron Trump in the spotlight. Both women, though living in different circumstances, understood the importance of protecting their children from unnecessary exposure. In the end, it was their shared commitment to their children's welfare and their ability to navigate public life with grace that allowed them to maintain a respectful relationship, despite the media's attempts to pit them against each other. Mara Maples also made it clear that her decision to protect her daughter Tiffany from the media's constant attention was deeply personal and driven by her values. She rejected the model of the Trump family, which often focused on loyalty to the family business and maintaining a public image. Instead, Mara chose to raise Tiffany in a way that prioritized independence and privacy. Tiffany's childhood was intentionally shaped to allow her to grow up free from the expectations that came with being a part of the Trump family name. This approach was in stark contrast to her half-siblings, who were groomed to take on roles within the Trump organization and were raised in the public eye. Mara, however, believed that childhood should be a time for exploration, self-discovery, and personal growth, not about brand building or public appearances. By keeping Tiffany away from the constant media attention and public pressures, Mara was able to provide her with a grounded, private upbringing. This decision reflected Mara's commitment to preserving her daughter's well-being above all else. Mara Maples' decision to keep Tiffany Trump away from the public spotlight stands in sharp contrast to the typical Trump family model, which often revolves around maintaining a strong public presence and loyalty to the family business. While other members of the Trump family, such as Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric, were raised with expectations of stepping into prominent roles within the Trump organization, Tiffany's upbringing was vastly different. Mara was intent on protecting her daughter from the chaos of the media and the weight of the Trump name. Mara's approach to raising Tiffany focused on ensuring that she grew up independent and grounded, without the pressures of public life looming over her. She wanted Tiffany to have the freedom to explore her own identity and pursue her own interests, without the constant scrutiny that came with being part of one of the most high-profile families in the world. This deliberate choice to shield Tiffany from the media circus reflected Mara's belief that childhood should be a time of personal growth and self-discovery, rather than a period of preparing for fame and public expectations. Interestingly, this decision also distanced Tiffany from the rest of the Trump family, as they were more involved in the business side of things. However, for Mara, this was a price worth paying to give her daughter a sense of normalcy and protect her from the emotional toll that a life under the public microscope could bring. Mara Maples' decision to distance Tiffany from the spotlight did not mean completely cutting off ties with Donald Trump or his family. In fact, Mara has openly stated that she always encouraged Tiffany to spend time with her father when possible, especially during holidays, school breaks, or special events. However, this was always done on Mara's terms, ensuring that Tiffany's well-being remained the central focus. Mara's careful approach meant that Tiffany's relationship with her father was maintained, but within a limited scope to shield her from the overwhelming public attention. This strategy, in part, reflected Mara's belief that love and protection for her daughter were more important than wealth or status. While Donald Trump's world was dominated by media appearances, business ventures, and public scrutiny, Mara chose to prioritize Tiffany's emotional health over any potential benefit that could come from being exposed to that world. Mara wanted Tiffany to be able to enjoy a childhood that was as free from stress and media intrusion as possible, providing her the space to grow into an independent, grounded individual. Mara's actions speak to the notion that motherhood can sometimes require making difficult choices, even if they set one apart from the rest of the family. She understood that her daughter's mental and emotional well-being were paramount, even if it meant navigating a more isolated and unconventional path within the Trump family. This quiet, protective approach is one of the key aspects that has shaped Tiffany into the woman she is today. Mara Maples' protective stance towards Tiffany Trump also played a significant role in shaping her daughter's identity. Unlike her half-siblings, who were groomed for roles within the Trump organization and often thrust into the public eye, Tiffany was allowed to grow up outside of the intense media scrutiny that came with the family's business empire. This decision gave Tiffany the opportunity to develop her own sense of self, independent of the expectations placed on her by the Trump name. Mara's refusal to expose Tiffany to the media circus surrounding Donald Trump allowed her daughter to maintain a more private, grounded life. While Tiffany still had a relationship with her father, it was always on her mother's terms, ensuring that she was not overwhelmed by the pressures of being a part of one of the most famous families in the world. Mara's approach reflected her belief that childhood should be a time of self-discovery and freedom, not one overshadowed by public attention and familial obligations. In doing so, Mara created an environment where Tiffany could thrive as an individual, outside the shadow of her father's legacy. How do you feel about the relationship between Mara Maples and Melania Trump? Do you believe that mutual respect is more important than rivalry? Please leave a comment below and remember to click the bell icon to get notifications of our latest content. Thank you very much and see you soon.